Yeah, like I said, first and foremost is to take care of yourself because I think, as artists, kinda we are the product, and you have to take care of the product, which is yourself first and foremost. So take care of your mental health, whether that's talking to somebody, mindfulness, take care of your body, take care of your mind, first and foremost. Secondly, I think education is really important. I think it's good to educate yourself constantly in your art and in your work, constantly learn and grow. But also, I think it's important for artists to know, at the end of the day, whatever art form that you're in. Now I'm going to speak from a music perspective, but it is a business and you should be capitalizing. Yes, we are very passion driven people, but you have to understand that, at the end of the day, you and your lifestyle needs to be sustainable. And when I look at musicians, I think we are at the core of it entrepreneurs. And the first rule of entrepreneurship is diversifying your income streams. Not to put all this pressure on this one thing to make you all the money in the world. We look at the most successful musicians around the globe, from Beyonce. Let's take Beyonce for an example. Not only does she make music, she's selling hair products, she's selling clothes, she's selling alcohol. So you need to see gore madi a gago wa tsaya kae, wa tsenyega kae. So it's very important to diversify because yes, it is the thing that we love the most, but I want to see my artists eat and I want to see them eat from all directions. I'll use V as an example. He's selling bread, he's selling water. And yeah, we need to look at ourselves in that light as well and see where you are making your money.
Welcome to Moving Humanity Forward podcast. My name is Cathy Malejane. I like to tell people that I'm hashtag Curious Cath because I have so very many questions. And today's show, well, I get to have as much fun, I think, that I can possibly have with somebody who, let me just tell you a little bit of a background on this one, okay? I met our guest through her uncle. I used to work with her uncle, okay? And I remember the uncle saying, my niece can sing. What are the chances that his niece can sing? And not only that, she has put Botswana on the world map in so many different platforms. I'm sure that when I say the name Mpho Sebina, you all know just what a big deal that name has become. Mpho, how glad am I to see you here. Thank you for joining us on Moving Humanity Forward podcast.
Thank you so much for inviting me.
So I was just reminded of this when we were getting makeup done and somebody said, where do you know Mpho from? And I said, I'm just a big fan. And you reminded me that no, besides being a very big fan, I actually, you were working on production at that point in time with your uncle, Mr. Martin Dube, yeah?
Yes, I was working at a film production agency, and this was about 9 years ago.
No, let me remind you, it was 13 years ago.
Hey, man.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
13 whole
Yeah.
years ago.
Yeah.
And I was working with my uncle at a film production agency, and we worked quite closely with you.
Yeah.
And then we ended up moving into the old
Duma FM
Duma
premises.
FM building.
G North.
G North.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
that's how I got introduced to you.
Yeah. So I know you before you were a singer and you were a production guy at the time.
Yes.
But Martin did say his niece knew how to sing, and well, the niece knew how to sing. I actually believe that you got your first project through people that I'm pretty familiar with. Grandpa.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember his real name. Grandpa. So Grandpa, Favi, and B Note.
Yes.
Take me through how that got to happen from being the production, crew, Yaha Martin, to now being Mpho, the artist, the singer.
I think I met Favi. I met Favi actually first, and this was now the years are escaping me, but maybe 2 years after the film production agency life, and they were working on some really amazing music, and we came together to work on a project that will become my first EP, which was titled Now, and that came out in 2017. And yeah, Grandpa produced a song on that project titled Black Butterfly, and I worked with Favi, Charles Mutseme on the rest of the project, which, has songs that did really well, I'll say globally, like Love's Light and No Evil.
I want to just get to understand how that happened. You met Favi and you said, "Hey, I'm a singer. I do really good."
Yeah.
Or that's what happened?
That's what happened. My boyfriend at the time was working with them on something, and we got introduced, and I heard the music that they were working on, and I think I had some demos at the time that I played for them, and yeah, that's how that happened.
1+1 became the magic that it is now. I want to know what inspires your music, especially because it's gotten such a global audience. Was that intentional? Was that just Mpho being Mpho, expressing herself? How did that come about?
I'll definitely say with the first project, it was a lot to do with the production. Those guys are really, really talented, and the music really spoke for itself. I mean, we put out that project without any really like label backing. It was very small production, but the quality of the music spoke for itself. And the beauty of putting things on the internet is that now it's open and available to anyone and everyone, and you're not necessarily limited to a certain space and where you are. And I'll put it on that. But also, yeah, the music was really beautifully written. I'm not gonna lie.
Did you write your songs?
Yeah.
Do you still write your own music?
Yeah, I write a lot of my own music. Now, when I started, I didn't know I thought this was you, and that's what. Yeah, you gotta figure it out. So I write a lot of my work, and to go back to your question of what inspires my music, I'd say life and my life and overcoming obstacles, really, and just trying to find a positive space in this world that can be quite chaotic and crazy.
So I can sort of imagine, the music that, or you hearing the music that both of you were working on. Are you intentional about the genre, or should I say, what genre of music do you do? Do you picture that when you're writing the song? Do you already have the melody? How does it work for you?
So at the core of my music, I'd call it soul, to be honest. But I'm very experimental when it comes to genres. I'm influenced by a lot of music, everything from like lekompo to jazz music. And I don't want to box myself as an artist. That's why I'll dabble with amapiano, I'll dabble with three-step, I'll dabble with a bit of hip hop soul. And yeah, I like the freedom of being able to express myself across different genres.
Okay, so the first project did really well. Yeah. What are some of the doors that then opened as a result of this music that you had done?
From our first project, we got our first placing on a Netflix production called Blood and Water.
Wow.
Which was really, really cool. And what else did we do with that project? Yeah, I think the Netflix thing was quite a big deal. The second project.
So they reached out to you and said, "We want to use your music."
The producer of the director or the producer of the show, I guess, is a fan of the music.
Nice.
So shout outs to them for, collaborating with us on that project.
Nice. So in terms of what happened next, was what doors opened next after that?
I mean, we've done some really incredible collaborations. We did 2 Netflix placements. Favi and I worked on a film by some producer from Lesotho. She's based in South Africa, which was, I think, my first kind of making music specifically for a film. And we worked on a rendition of My Funny Valentine. I can't remember what year that was. I need to get my timeline straight.
Yeah.
I did work with Ford South Africa for an ad.
So these doors all opened after the 2017 project launched?
Yes, but this is now also after my follow-up project, which came up in 2020. We did a piece the American Ballet Theatre, one of their ballerinas. Is that what you call a male
Yes.
ballerina?
Yeah, I
Are
think
they
he's.
still a ballerina?
I'm not sure if he's a ballerina. He's a ballet dancer. Let's say.
Okay, so one of their ballet dancers did a piece of one of their productions around a song that I also worked on with Favi. And yeah, that was pretty cool. I would have never thought to see my music in a ballet production.
Can we see your music in a ballet production? Do you have videos somewhere?
Yes, I kept it somewhere. I'll definitely reshare that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's just some of the doors that have
Yeah.
opened. I want to go through some of where you were in terms of just personally when all of this is going on, because sometimes, you know, the fame, the doors, the
Yeah.
lights, the camera action, it gets a lot. Where are you in this space?
Yeah.
In terms of growing, finding yourself?
Yeah.
Do you have a team around you? Do you have family? What are you doing to surround yourself? Because I think that's also very important.
I've worked with a lot of different people. I'm at a space right now where I do work a lot with family in terms of managing the bookings. It's a lot of self-managing and working with family. But in terms of production, I work with a lot of different producers across the board, across different genres. Always trying to explore different sounds. But yeah, I'm also in a space where I am always open to growing the team and finding people who are actually experts in the music business, because as much as I love it and I have been doing it for years, I still don't see myself as an expert when it comes to, you know, the marketing, the business management of things, and I'm always looking to expand that.
And I think that's really important. But one thing that I think is very brave of you, and you've just mentioned that you did a rendition of My Funny Valentine, is you've gone and stepped into gigantic shoes in the form of doing music by people like Brenda Fassie. And I must say that your rendition of Too Late for Mama is one of, if not my all-time favorite, you know, songs. But I want to know when you get that and you decide, okay, I want to put a spin on this or whatever, like what goes through your mind? Do you not just get intimidated, like, oh my goodness, this is Brenda Fassie, oh my goodness, how do I touch this song?
Yeah. So when I started making music before I put out my project, so before 2017, I was playing with covers, you know, a lot of musicians start that way. And it was during my SoundCloud days. So I did them for fun and just for the sheer love of it. And I never expected them to catch.
That was you playing around.
Yeah.
Wow. That's how those happen.
Yeah, that's how those happen.
So
yeah, the Larato and the Too Late for Mama. I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, I don't have my own music out yet, but you know, I'm still learning how I was, you know, developing my recording abilities. So we put those out for fun, and I didn't expect them to do as well as they did, because then 10 years later from that release of that Too Late for Mama, Gallo Records was working on their legacy project, and they were doing renditions of, you know, music from their 50-year catalog under the executive production Black Coffee. And they reached out to me and gave me a whole bunch of songs to pick. And then they later came back and they said, oh no, but you've done a rendition before, you know, something that I would have never thought that Gallo Records would have heard. Something we did in a tiny studio
somewhere in someone's back room.
And they're like, yes, you've done a rendition before, maybe, you know, tweak it and bring it into 2020. What year was that? 2022?
Wow.
And yeah, that's how that happened. And yes, you know, because I had done it for fun, I didn't think about it too much. But I think it was the night before the song was released that I was like, I just did a Brenda Fassie cover.
Okay, so it only hit you afterwards.
Yes. Before the song came out, I did a Brenda Fassie cover. I'm not South African. How will people receive this? But the reception has been great.
Yeah. I mean, speaking of reception being great, I just have this picture that the whole world has received you well.
Yeah.
And I want to know how that happened. Like, what How did that get to happen? Because you talk about the first project getting a Netflix, being part of a Netflix movie. But I want to understand just how that has happened and how intentional are you about that? Because I know you do quite a bit of work in South Africa, and we're going to talk about you and the relationship you have with the Grammy Awards. But let's talk about that. Are you intentional in terms of making yourself get out there? How has the world received you? How has Botswana received you?
I'm not gonna lie, I think when I first started, Botswana had a hard time understanding the type of music that I made. It wasn't very like mainstream. It was very slow, very soulful. But over the years, Botswana has really stood beside me. I've built my own, following here who really, really support me and my events and my music, and have been with me and developed with me as I grow as an artist. Was I intentional about it? Yes, although Botswana is my home, I always have this saying in the back of my mind from business school that says, "What think locally, act globally," right? Because the entire world is my audience. That's how I look at things. And when I put music out, I am from here, and I'll always be influenced by where I come from. And I love the music that comes from here, our culture, from our language and everything. But I will always, be very aware where I am competing internationally. So that's always been the intent behind my work.
Okay, so then the doors opened. I mean, you mentioned getting some work in South Africa. How frequent is that in terms of international gigs and things like that?
Yeah, like I was saying before, I always want more. If it could triple, if I could be busy every single week of my life, I'd be very happy. But South Africa has been very supportive of my career over the years. It's basically my second home.
How did that get to happen? Do you have family in South Africa? Is there some producers that are your friends? Like, what connection did you get?
Initially, when I was working with Bofavi, he had some very good connections in South Africa by a man by the name Bradley Williams, who was very instrumental to, the beginning and the growth stages of our establishing ourselves in South Africa. But also, the covers that I did in the beginning, the Boom Shakas and the Brenda Fassies really hit the South African hearts quite well. And, it was a very small, cultish kind of following in the beginning, and people really picked it up and resonated with that music quite well. Some of them thought I was South African. So it's my second home, and it's been, I guess, a culmination of different things that attributed to that effect.
Okay, I'll want us to talk about the Grammy Awards. I'll want us to talk about some of the projects that you have worked on, things like the Naked Soul Sessions. My heart is so sore that I think the last one I tried to make it to, and I can't remember what happened.
So you've never attended a Naked?
Yeah,
goodness.
So you need to bring them back. You need to bring them back.
I will.
And then we need sponsors. Okay, so we must get those doors to open so that it must be sustainable. I think that's 100%. One of the things. So hopefully we'll touch base a little bit on that as well, and speak to some of the challenges you found. I want to believe there's nothing that'll ever happen without a challenge. I'll want you to talk a little bit about that. But this is Moving Humanity Forward podcast, and let me let you know that at HSS we believe that every healthcare provider deserves the tools as well as the training to deliver high quality care, no matter where they are. And we're talking from Botswana to South Africa and beyond. HSS works to develop local capacity. They train instructors and they expand service access to life-saving training programs. Together, we're creating a stronger chain of survival and a healthier future for all. Go ahead and discover more at the website is www.healthcaresystems.co.bw. We'll be right back.
Hi everyone, I'm Sohola Mr. from Healthcare System Solutions. And today I want to talk to you about something simple, practical, and powerful. A cardiac emergency response plan, or a SEP. You might be asking, what's that? Simply put, this is a plan that prepares your school, your workplace, your church, your sports facility to quickly and confidently respond when someone suddenly collapses, whether it's from a cardiac arrest, a heart attack, stroke, or any other medical emergency that can happen outside a hospital. Let's be honest, most places are not ready. Someone collapses, panic sets in. People freeze. And by the time EMS arrives, it's often too late. But what if that school teacher, that student, that security guard at the gate, that receptionist knew exactly what to do? That's what SAP makes possible. It transforms confusion into calm, delay into action, and fear into confidence. Whether it's that 12-year-old child at school, that colleague at work, that fellow worshiper at church, every second counts. And SAP gives your people the power to respond. At Healthcare System Solutions, we help design and implement cardiac emergency response plans in schools, corporate offices, banks, sports facilities, churches, shopping centers, hotels, and safari camps in remote areas. Because cardiac arrest doesn't care where you are. Here's the big question. Is your environment ready to save a life? We will help you design a plan that fits your space, train all your staff, and install AEDs around your institution. If you're a corporate leader, a school leader, this is something you can take a lead on. Lives are not only saved by ambulances and hospitals, they can be saved by ordinary people who are prepared. And this is what SAP is all about.
Welcome back. This is Moving Humanity Forward podcast, and we're hanging out today with Mpho Sebina. I'm excited because I always believe that when we have these conversations and we tell these stories, you know that wherever you are, whether Olego, Shakawe, Gon Shakashuke, whether you are in Maung, whether you are in Hukunti, Tabong, Khanti, whichever part of the country you're in, whichever part of the world you are in, that you know that this story is one that could be yours as well. And more, right? So you heard how Mpho literally started off as production crew, and she has practiced her art. And when we started our conversation this morning, she said, "Listen, I'm an artist. I create art." That's how she sees her music. But let's do this, Mpho. Let's talk about some of the projects that you've worked on, right? So the music, that was one of the things that you did. And then let's talk a little bit about Naked Soul Sessions. I know that's one of the things that you did.
So Naked Soul Sessions was born 2017, and back then there weren't really a lot of platforms that were, intimate and acoustic based that, brought audiences and artists together in that kind of space. It was either super large festivals, but I was really thirsty for
like an intimate,
really
crowd.
Intimate, small crowds where we can get to appreciate our Hansies or Shantilos, but, in a more intimate, stripped down type of platform. So that's how that was born. It was a need for a space like that, and a need for us to appreciate our artists in that light, because I personally enjoy that kind of thing.
Same.
Yeah.
I enjoy that more than when it's loud.
Yeah.
Because I feel like then it's just you're scared half the time. Of things.
We just want to sit down and appreciate our artists in that light. So that's how that was born. And, since then we've had the privilege of hosting a variety of artists. Like I had mentioned, Hansi, Shantilo, we've had Leshi Love Song, we've had myself a couple of times, we've had Samantha Moba.
Samantha, yeah.
Yeah, and the list goes on and on and on. And initially I was doing it once a month, and then things kind of slowed down a little bit, but 2023 we did a picnic which did very, very well, but it's quite difficult trying to put these things together on your own. I think I really want to encourage corporate and private Botswana to partner with artists on
If we
such.
got you a sponsor, would you do it again?
Of course. I definitely would.
So
I love
you a sponsor, are you listening? If we get her a sponsor, she'll do it again. Yeah?
Yeah, I would definitely do it.
Okay.
Yeah,
So-
I'll definitely do one before the year ends. I'll definitely let you
Okay.
know. Yeah.
I'm gonna be there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So what are some of the challenges that you faced, and
Yeah.
what are some of the highlights? Because that was the intention. I want to believe that is something that definitely has a market,
Yeah.
right? So you definitely had a following. You definitely had people that enjoyed
Yeah.
and appreciated.
Yeah.
So what were some of the challenges?
I'd definitely say as artists, we do things initially from the sheer passion and love of things, but not really exactly, but not understanding the business side of things. But at the end of the day, creativity is something that is sustainable, and it is, it has the potential to gain financial backing. So, we learn as we go. So I think maybe one of my challenges was lack of knowledge, lack of corporate partnerships, and just not knowing enough about the eventing business. Those were some of the challenges that I faced. But I guess coming from that, it's like you learn a lot on the job and as you go, and there's room for growth.
I love it. So highlights. What are some of the highlights that
the
memories,
on my career?
No, in the Naked Soul.
In the Naked Soul space, I think just the catalog of artists. I think I need to sit down and just write them down. The amount of amazing talent that we've had on that stage. I think we had a proposal one night that was really fun on stage.
Wow.
We've hosted some incredible artists and created a lot of memories, of which still, they still live on YouTube, and I'll definitely share those. You should definitely check those out. What are some of the highlights? We've done some cross-border collaborations. I've done some Naked Souls in Joburg and Pretoria. We hosted a few Zambian artists when we were trying to do like a cross-border kind of collaboration. Yeah, there's been many, many, many highlights, but the picnics were so great. We had Dato Seiko, we had your Jordan Moses, we had Shakaina. Yeah, it's been some really great
That's really
musical
exciting.
experiences.
So would that be where you started off? If you got it, like, do you want to start with the picnics, or you're gonna?
I think I want to go back to those small, intimate ones, because I think there's a bit of an appetite for that type of experience.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, I'm excited, and I'm taking it upon myself to look for a sponsor. And
great. I'm gonna hold you to that.
Yeah. So we'll talk about that. Let's talk now the music industry. Let's talk some of, as you're going along, some of the things you're doing. I know there's a project that has you, I think you said it's called Access TV.
Yeah.
That you're working on. Talk to me a little bit about that. Talk to me about your bookings, how it's been. I know this year has been quite challenging. A lot of people will just flat out tell you, look, this is what it is. Talk to me about that.
So Music in Africa is an African-based, I guess, organization that really tries to push for African artists in the music space to find opportunities globally, intercontinentally. So annually they host a music conference. It's called Access Africa. And it's maybe 2-3 days of different talks, panels, but also during that time there are music showcases. So last year they were in Rwanda, and I decided to go there and check out the conference itself, which was quite a great experience. You meet a lot of artists from all over the continent. Last year they had Yvonne Chaka Chaka as a panelist. As well as Nasty C. Jordan Muzi performed there. So every year they do a call out, and I would advise my fellow musicians to really sign up for that platform. It's such a great platform. That's how I traveled to Berlin for the first time. They've sponsored not even more than 2 of my music experiences, from Naked Souls to a couple of things, and I apply every year to showcase. I've been applying for like the past 6-7 years, and finally I've been approved. So I will be performing in Pretoria on the 1st of November at one of their showcases, and the lineup is quite diverse. They have everyone from Focalistic to Shandesh to myself, and yeah, I'm really, really looking forward to that.
I love that.
Yeah, in terms of bookings, yeah, like you said, it has been a very interesting year here in Botswana financially. So it's been a little bit slow, but I've managed to secure some fun performances. I am doing a music festival here called Echoes of the Kalahadi, the 13th of November.
Nice.
But also it's great that I've managed to do some international collaborations. I worked with a Canadian film director on some music, so I'm looking forward to seeing that.
Sorry, I'm gonna talk about film, but continue. We'll get to that.
And another television production which should be coming out soon, I think in October. And yeah, hoping for more. The year is not over, so I'm still.
It's not too late. They can still book
exactly.
you. And I mean, the festive season is upon us.
Yes.
So, you know, good music is here. So, you know,
yeah,
they can get a hold of you. So, we talked earlier about film. You've done quite a bit of film and work specifically for, I think you worked with them as well, Netflix as well. You're talking about films. How did that come about? Take us through what has happened.
I think it's great that, you know, a couple of directors have reached out to me personally because they enjoyed the music, and that's how we got most of our placements. This Canadian lady, she was working on a short film. She is working on a short film that's based in Botswana. She did quite some work here, I think maybe about 10-15 years ago, and she fell in love with the place. And yeah, she did her research about Botswana music, which I think is really great because you find that, you know, sometimes productions do happen here, but, you know, we're not engaged as musicians. I see great productions coming out of here, but, you know, it's important for directors to collaborate with, you know, local artisans as well to just, you know, add that touch to it. So I'm very excited and, you know, happy to see some directors taking that direction.
I want to go a little bit behind the scenes with you in terms of when you have a show or something to put on. Do you have a team that dress you? Because I think in my mind, always I think bohemian every time I think of you. So do you have stylists? Do you know, are you intentional about what you're putting out there? Do you have a team? Well, how do you do it?
It honestly, it varies from show to show, and I have to think about how I want to feel. I think for me, a great performance always stems in how you look and you feel first and foremost. When I look good, I feel good, and I end up, you know, delivering my best. But I work with a lot of different designers. I love working with local designers. There's so many talented people here. I don't have a stylist. I think I'm a bit touch and go with having somebody tell me what to wear, but I'm
you don't want to take directions, you want to decide.
I don't.
You do your own
it's
thing.
so difficult to let go of that thing, but I'm very, very open to it. I'm very open to it because then you end up, you know, looking like yourself all the time, and it's nice to, you know,
have different.
Yeah, it's nice to
and part of why I ask is because I know you were part of Creators Botswana, which was a project between, I think, the French Embassy and Alliance de Française. I'm not sure in terms of from Botswana, but I think there was
NACB was involved
17. As well. Yes, NACB was involved. So there were about 17 local designers and so on and so forth. So in my mind, I'm thinking you had your pick, eeny, meeny, miny.
I really did, and you know that one was that performance. I had blundered and I didn't have an outfit until that day. So when I went to sound check, I get at that day it was a market, so all the I'm like, you know,
all the designers
all the designers are there. I'm gonna leave there with an outfit.
Oh, so you got an outfit because everybody had their clothes.
Yeah. So when I went to sound check, I forgot the name of the brand. I forgot the name of the brand. But yes, I ended up buying a very nice 3-piece suit from this lady. Did my sound check, bought an outfit. Yeah.
That's awesome. So you do your own thing in terms of this, whatever you're dressing, and that is an important part of it because, like you said, when you look good, you feel good. And then in terms of the stage, the choreography, is this all on you? Do you?
Yeah, this is definitely still all on me. You know, being an independent artist, you wear a lot of hats, including creative director. It is quite challenging, but it's also a lot of fun because it helps you develop, you know, your voice and your artistic direction. Yeah.
Take me through in terms of your relationship with the Grammy Awards, how that got started, what that looks like right now, what is going on. You attended the Grammys early this year. Take me through that.
So I found an email randomly in my inbox sometime last year, and it was a congratulations, you have been selected to become a Grammy Recording Academy voting member. And I saw the email and it was like, okay, spam. Maybe it's maybe it's spam. I went back to it 2 days later and yeah, it was legit. So I am now a voting member, which comes with a couple of duties with regards to the Grammy Awards. So I just completed my first year. I'm going to be doing it for the next 5 years. And part of our role as voting members, it is a global community because we have voting members all across the world. But this was Botswana's first induction. And we firstly get to submit music for consideration. So submitting music for consideration means how for submission, we can submit music that is then listened to by the voting members across the world, and that music is then voted on to then become nominees. Yeah. So I can submit music of my own, I can submit your music, and yeah, that music then potentially becomes nominees. Once the nominees are selected, then we vote on that music as well. That will then bring the winners. Yeah. So yeah, it's submission of music, it's voting on music that's been considered, it's voting on the nominated music for Grammy wins, but then also you have the ability to recommend other artists or music practitioners to join the Recording Academy.
So who recommended you?
Good question.
You don't know?
Yeah, I don't know. And I had conversations with other members because then, you know, we become a community, everybody gets to kind of know each other. And there's kind of a couple of members in South Africa and I had a meet with them. And how it happens is one or more persons or one or more voting members recommend you, and that's how you become inducted into the thing. But mine wasn't a recommendation.
Okay, tell us Mpho again. Tell us who are your people. Tell us tell us tell us
and the grace of God.
Wow.
So yeah, mine was a bit interesting in that I don't think I was recommended. It has to have been an internal thing because I made my recommendations this year, and Hakira my recommendations, the person got an email for okay, this person recommended you.
So your email didn't have it.
I didn't have that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, are you not picking up how many things just come your way? Let's talk about your faith. Are you religious? Are you spiritual? What do you believe in?
I definitely believe in God. I am a very spiritual person.
Are you Christian?
I think I would call myself Christian. I believe in the sanctity of Christ, but I'm not in church every Sunday. We have our own personal relationship. And yeah, I'm a very prayerful person. Daily prayers. Yeah.
Yeah, no, you need to teach us these prayers, huh? Because, you know, doors are opening. I love it for you. And so are they paying you? Do you get lots of money from the Grammys?
They are
you
not
like
paying me.
bling,
Just like a lot of associations, if you become a member, you pay a membership fee.
You're paying the Grammys?
Yes, I pay them.
What?
So you're welcome, guys.
So, wait, you attended the Grammy Awards?
Yes, I did attend.
Did they fly you out there?
No, babes. I flew myself out there.
Hey.
Yeah.
Did they get you a car at least to come to the Grammy?
No, babes. Do you know how many members exist across the world?
How many?
I don't know, but it's definitely in the thousands.
So they don't cater for you in any way?
No.
Wow.
Yeah.
So it's an honorary thing that you literally are the one footing the bill for.
100%.
And you're going to do it for the next 5 years?
I definitely am not going to attend every year. It is quite a journey, but it is great. It's a great place to go and meet other members. It's a great place to go and collaborate. There's always so many different activities happening in and around that week, different showcases. You have the opportunity to showcase and target that time to put on a showcase. That's what a lot of nominees do, and that's what a lot of like voting members do. They're like plan the showcase around that time. So it's a good time for you to go and market yourself and, pitch for voting, basically.
Did you do that?
No, I didn't. This was my first time. And, next time after you find me the sponsor,
Okay.
I'll be able to do that.
Okay.
I'll be able to do all that magical stuff. So I'm not going to attend next year. The next time I attend, I'm going to go as a nominee.
Nice.
Yeah.
I love that. Let's put that out there.
Yes.
Okay, so let's talk about some of the other projects that you've worked on. Are there any others that you've been, animation maybe, or other types of movies? What music are you working on right now? Who are you working with?
Okay, I'm working on a lot of collaborations right now, none of my own personal projects. So I've been in and out of studio with different musicians.
In Botswana?
Locally, also a few in South Africa. So I've been in studio with a gentleman by the name of Bono. I think his project comes out in October. I also did a piece of music with a producer, Kiana Kaliba, which I'm very excited to hear. So yeah, I'm doing a lot of collaborations. I think I'll start working on my own project next year. Yeah.
And then so in terms of music, have you been writing? Do you write all the time and then just have like the notebook that has the songs, or how does it work?
I mean, if I am
phone?
inspired, I will write down some things. If I have some melodies, I do, record them in my mind, but also in my phone. Yeah.
So if you lose your phone, they're gone.
No, they usually live in
your
my
mind as well. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
And then in terms of bookings, how's that going? How busy are you?
I'm busy. I could be busier. I always want to be busier. I don't like sitting and being idle. So I could be busier.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. This is Moving Humanity Forward podcast. We're hanging out with Mpho Sebina. We're calling for sponsors, so get in touch. Remember, we are right back.
Life comes with surprises. Some good, some not so much.
But whatever happens, you can face it head on.
Assure Wealth gives you more than just insurance. We give you protection for every part of your life, your home, your car, even your travel.
We help businesses stay resilient with commercial covers from theft, fire, public liability, and group covers.
Got a team? We've got you covered too. Life cover, disability, funeral schemes, even income continuation.
Our type of funeral plan is just one way to ensure dignity and peace of mind.
Need cover for travel?
Done.
Aviation, agriculture, even political riots.
We've got you.
Professional indemnity?
Of course.
At Assure Wealth, we are not just brokers, we are your insurance partners for life.
Insurance that protects what matters. Insurance done right.
Welcome back. This is Moving Humanity Forward podcast. You find us on LinkedIn, on YouTube, as well as on TikTok by typing Moving Humanity Forward podcast. And then on Facebook, MHF podcast. That is how you find us. I know I'm going to run out of time, so let's get straight back into the conversation. Let's look at the music industry in Botswana. And let's talk about the mental health of people in this industry. What's your take on it?
I was reading somewhere and I forgot the statistics, but it was talking about mental health overall within the creative industries and not just in Botswana, and how it's something that really affects us as a sector. And yeah, I don't know what it is about creativity and artistry where, mental health is a big issue, where you find that a lot of us struggle with depression, anxiety, addiction, and a couple of things. So it's something that I've really, tried my best to work on. I'm very aware of my mental health and putting it first. There's so many things that you can do just to keep yourself, you know, in a good space, and it is a lot of work. From seeing a therapist to exercise, everything from diet. Lo go nwa metsi hela, go nwa metsi is something that's really, really important. And, I always advocate for artists to first and foremost take care of themselves mentally before they can even, go out there and try to do anything. We're blessed, more Botswana, to have some helplines and organizations that'll, give you free counseling, which is something that I really feel like you should take advantage of. I'm a product of Botswana Mental Health Society, and there was a point where I felt like I needed, somebody to talk to, and they offered me some services from the comfort of my home. I would be on the phone with my therapist once a week, and yeah, I really advise for artists to take care of themselves.
You're reminding me of an artist that we saw go through quite a bit on social media recently. And, my heart went out for them. I think, you're saying creatives around the world struggle, but I think in Botswana, I don't know, it's almost as if they are not appreciated in the sense that a lot of the time we won't pay a Botswana artist what we are prepared to pay any other nationality artist, any foreign artist, right? So I want to know, when it gets to that level where somebody is literally, you're seeing this person is not okay, what can we do? What can we do as a community, as a nation, as people who care?
Yeah, I think it is about offering that kind of care and support. But, I feel like social media is such a crazy place. Yes, there's some good that comes out of it, but we really need to be kinder with our words to each other, especially on social media. And, somebody is going through something, I think it's to offer that care and support, but also, make them aware of these services that are available to them.
So if you had the opportunity, and I'd like you to just speak to the audience right now, just touch a viewer to say, if somebody is looking to get into the industry, what are some of the things they need to bear in mind? I think what you just said is a big one. Social media, you have to be careful.
Yeah. Like I said, first and foremost is to take care of yourself, because I think, as artists, we are the product, and you have to take care of the product, which is yourself first and foremost. So take care of your mental health, whether that's talking to somebody, mindfulness, take care of your body, take care of your mind, first and foremost. Secondly, I think education is really important. I think it's good to educate yourself constantly in your art and in your work, constantly learn and grow. But also, I think it's important for artists to know, at the end of the day, whatever art form that you're in. Now I'm going to speak from a music perspective, but it is a business and you should be capitalizing. Yes, we are very passion-driven people, but you have to understand that, at the end of the day, you and your lifestyle needs to be sustainable. And when I look at musicians, I think we are, at the core of it, entrepreneurs. And the first rule of entrepreneurship is diversifying your income streams. Not to put all this pressure on this one thing to make you all the money in the world. We look at the most successful musicians around the globe, from Beyonce. Let's take Beyonce for an example. Not only does she make music, she's selling hair products, she's selling clothes, she's selling alcohol. So you need to see madi a gago wa tsaya kae, wa tsenyega kae. So it's very important to diversify, because yes, it is the thing that we love the most, but I want to see my artists eat, and I want to see them eat from all directions. I'll use V as an example. He's selling bread, he's selling water. And yeah, we need to look at ourselves in that light as well and see where you are making your money.
You're bringing a topic that is very, very close to my heart when
Yeah.
you talk about, entrepreneurship, when
Yeah.
you talk the small to micro and medium sector, when you talk the informal sector. Those are things I'm very passionate about. So let's bring it to you. And I love what you talked about, to say that diversification of your income, multiple income streams.
Yeah.
What are you working on? What fingers, what pies do you have your fingers in?
So when I started making music, I guess also that's where Naked Soul was born. I registered a company in 2017 called Shakti Soul. And Shakti Soul I call an arts company, and we do everything from events management to artist management. We manage one artist at the moment, which is myself. But, we also do creative consultancy, also events management, and also putting together small set designs like this one with bespoke small furniture pieces. Another project that I started working on this year is called Opela Nana, which is focused on young minds and educating, young minds in trying to preserve our languages. And, we're doing this through music and animation.
I love it. I did ask you about animation earlier, so I'm glad that there was something, I don't know, that I kind of picked up. But so that is the different ways that you are diversifying your income. Where can people get a hold of, what do you say, Shakti?
It's Shakti Soul.
Shakti Soul. Where do they find Shakti Soul? If I have an event coming up and I want you to take care of it, where do we find you? And Opela Nana, where are you? What do you do as Opela Nana? Is it just the music that you've got going on, or are you do you go out? Do you host? What do you do?
Okay, so with Opela Nana right now, we're on the digital platform stream. So if you go through your Instagrams, to your Facebooks, and you search for Opela Nana, as well as YouTube, we're working on a web series that is teaching young kids. We've put out our first episode, which is titled Mebala, and it's a cute song that touches on different colors, Gasjana, and we're going to put out another version, Gaskala in the coming weeks. But also, if you want to reach out to us for like birthday parties or like extracurricular activities, you can reach out at opelanana@gmail.com.
And Opela's Nana is spelled?
Opela Nana is OPELA Nana NNANA @gmail.com.
I love it. So birthday parties, extracurricular activities, picnics, that kind of vibe for kids. You cater. And then so Shakti Soul?
Shakti Soul, you can reach out at shaktisoul@gmail.com. That's SHAKTISOUL @gmail.com.
Awesome. All right. When we close off, then we'll get to talk about how we book Mpho Sebina. And speaking of, you didn't use a moniker. Why?
A moniker?
Yes, like an AKA, the stage name. Why didn't you call yourself whatever the name was, Bola Bang, or what you were called? Jamaica,
I've never had like a cool nickname. I'm not gonna.
So the ones you had weren't cool.
I'm not gonna let you know what they call me, Gola Bang. It's not something that I can market myself with. Mpho Sebina has always been my name. That's who I am. And
so when you get married, are you gonna keep it?
The big deal, it's very, very intense. I just find it so interesting.
Wait, it's intense right now, as in somebody's trying to marry you? And then you want to keep the name?
I mean, I just find it so tedious to have to go to Omang, and then I have to go immigration, and then all of that to change my name. It's a lot of work. I'm just like, what's the big deal?
Oh, this person, what
Isn't it a big deal to change your whole identity? I've gone through 36 years of my life with this name, and now I have to change my whole identity.
In a way, your
Yeah,
identity
cool.
is going to change when you get married, because then you are not Mpho Sebina alone anymore. You are now
I guess.
joined at the hip to someone else.
Maybe I'll hyphenate like Sebina.
Is that
dash
something that's
what the-
on the table?
Yeah.
Like, are they open
I
to
haven't
that?
pitched that one yet.
Yes. So would it be Sebina and the other one, or the other one and Sebina?
Maybe Sebina and the other one.
I know somebody who's just kept the stage name and then everywhere else they changed it.
Yes.
Would that be on the table as well?
I'll definitely keep my stage name.
So
Yeah.
you're always going to be Mpho Sebina
Yeah.
regardless of what your ID says.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you didn't have any cool names. Your people didn't call you cool things growing up, and
More.
that's why you stuck to it.
Yeah.
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 Okay, so I wanted to actually come to this one to say there's something about your brand, and we've been speaking about this
Yeah.
just off camera, to say there's something about your brand that has certainly set you apart.
Yeah.
Our makeup, her name is Anthea. She's
Yeah.
Saved by Luxury. She's saying you are a brand, and you hold yourself apart as a brand, right? And our videographer has insisted that, look, Mpho's stuff is just world class.
Okay.
What have you done, Mpho? That's why I was asking you if you've been licked by snakes. What have you done that has, gotten you this recognition, that has gotten you, these doors and borders opening up for you? Share the secret.
I'm gonna just say a few things that I think, may have been, contributing factors to that. Number one was the intention. I feel like, the power of, your human intention behind anything that you do is very powerful.
belief.
Yeah, your belief in your own product is number one. And I've always believed that the music is powerful, and always put the intention to make music that transcends to everybody and anybody, anywhere. So that's first and foremost. Secondly, the production level of your work has to speak to anyone, everywhere, at any time. And that's something that I really strive for. It's very difficult as an independent artist, to try and produce these world-class visuals, but also going back to something that we spoke of off camera, is that collaboration that in our sector is really, it's really, really pivotal. It's very important. And, my first music video was shot and directed by Shike Olsen, who is very, very talented, and he believed in the music at the time. And, we produced these amazing visuals that, you can have no backing, no label or whatever, but if the music is good and if the quality and the standard is good, people don't care. Is the music good? And the music will forever speak for itself. So that's something that I really, really, really try and do. And I'd say that's something that also aided in that. But also I love the internet and how it's connected us as people throughout the world. And I'll always, put my music on all the digital platforms and work on my profile to make sure that it's...
Do you work on it yourself? You have somebody?
No, actually, I have somebody who's helping me with that.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, has that always been the case?
No, that hasn't always been the case.
You were doing it yourself?
Yes, I was doing
Are
it
you
myself.
gifted, like in the graphics, visual?
I mean, I would say I'm gifted. I am a very visual person, and I like to express myself in different formats, visually. I'm not a director in any form or shape or way, but I really do appreciate things that look good, and I'll try my best to execute that as well as I can, even though it's something that I'm not, I'm not learned in. Yeah.
Okay, so you're particular about the way your brand appears.
Yes.
And then in terms of, you're in the public eye,
Yeah.
right? Is there a way that you keep or carry yourself so that we don't hear the scandals and we don't hear the stories, and we're just hearing from you that you're engaged. We haven't seen photos.
Engaged.
You're changing names. You're engaged.
This is not engaged. Okay.
Yeah, but are you intentional about that? Do you?
Really not. I am not the most well-behaved person outside. I think maybe I get away with a lot of the times I kopana le batho, they're like, oh, that's you. You didn't look like you. I get that quite a lot. So I can get away with,
Wait, you didn't look like you?
hey, people be like, oh, I didn't know that was you. You're so much shorter. You're so much lighter. You're so much this.
Okay.
I get that a lot. I really get that a lot.
Let's see if anything will change. I don't know if there's anything you want to add. I'm going to close off.
Yeah, I'm going to just go back to collaboration and the power of the internet, sliding into people's DMs that you want to work with, shooting your shot.
You've done that?
Yeah, I've done that. I ended up...
Where have you done that successfully?
Yes, so I'll talk about the collaboration that I ended up doing with the Major League DJs.
Nice.
They had shared a tweet and they were like, oh, this music is great.
Your music.
Yes. So I'm like, okay, that's cool and everything, but where's the work? Where's the collaboration? And that's how Dina Lady came about, which was, a song that really opened doors for me to another market, a more mainstream market, which I guess, catapulted me more in the South African space. I mean, before with the other project, it was very niche and very, it was a very niche market, but that was a very powerful collaboration for me. So yeah, shoot your shots, see what people are saying about you on the internet in a positive light, collaborate with people anywhere. The whole world is your oyster.
We love it. We love it for you. And in closing, I want to just find out if somebody wants to book you. I want to believe weddings, workshops, events, Christmas parties.
Yes, I love
available
weddings.
Right.
And I think wedding season is upon us.
Yes.
But you can send us an email at info@mphosebinabookings.com.
Wait, say that again.
info@mphosebinabookings.com.
All right. Mpho, it's been an absolute pleasure having you here.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And that's how we wrap up this episode of Moving Humanity Forward podcast. We do hope we catch you next week.